Good afternoon, everybody. Another episode of the Karen's podcast. This week, we're talking about the halftime show and just kind of what's going on with our opinions on that. Right?
The World Cup.
The World Cup.
The World Cup. The very
halftime show.
first World Cup halftime.
Okay.
I just learned that today. I didn't realize that it was never like this. They've never done a halftime.
Yeah,
So,
interesting.
There's reasons why.
Yeah,
we'll have to for you knowledgeable Karens, you'll have to let us know what the reasons are.
Susan probably knows the most about that part because I don't really know why.
And just a quick reminder, we are made up of four best friends. Amanda, Carolyn, Susan, and Megan, and we're sharing our opinions
together. By the way,
and we're all tired from that weekend.
Monday.
Yeah, and basically pick different topics or have guests weekly to kind of share our opinions because we are the Karens, opinions on everything, experts on nothing. Susan, why don't you explain a little bit about? Yeah, it sounds like you know mostly why this is now happening.
Soccer, regardless of where you're at in the world, doesn't do halftime shows. Like the reality is you have two 45-minute halves giving you 90 minutes of playing time. The average halftime between first half and second half is typically 10 to 15 minutes. It's not like the American football and the Super Bowl and like a big event. And one of the biggest things deals with players' fatigue.
Yes.
They don't want players having an extended break.
Yeah.
It causes fatigue, lactic acid,
cramping up,
all that stuff. So in the global stage, they don't do halftime shows.
Yeah.
However, they did one for this World Cup, and it was interesting.
Am I assuming that they did it because this is what I read, like, oh, it's America and it's in America and we're used to seeing like a Super Bowl halftime. Like we like the theatrics and all that kind of stuff. Is that why it was just like, who decides that they're even going to have this?
Yeah,
like halftime, if it's never been done before, who makes the decision that they're going to do it this time? You know,
that's a good question. I don't know either, but I'm assuming because it was in America, that led to us because our American fans are typically used to the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah, some sort of entertainment of some sort.
Yeah.
Or money. No. It had to do
with money, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Sponsoring.
I mean,
sponsors.
I will say I loved it. I thought it was great. And I was emotional and I cried. And I mean, there were certain, like, Justin Bieber could have been left out. It was very odd positioning of his song because everything was very, like, vibrant and, like, and then all of a sudden this guy gets on an acoustic guitar and you're like, okay. But I like the Ted Lasso lead up. And I thought of you, Susan, because we were just talking this weekend about wasn't that one of the shows you would want to be on if you could be on a show?
Oh yeah, I would definitely would love. Yeah, so I mean, it's coming back for a new season, so I would definitely be interested.
Well, real quick, that's because I'm sure a lot of our listeners don't watch football or soccer. Who was on it? Can you guys, one of you?
Okay, so I can give you a quick synopsis. It started out with Madonna coming out, and they did what I think was a pre-recorded segment that had a lot of AI where she was driving through what looked like the stadium on the inside.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
And she was when the car that she was in stopped, like she was singing or lip syncing, she did have two really famous Brazilian soccer players with her that she brought out. And then you had the New York Philharmonic, you had the Korean BTS band, you had Shakira, you had Justin Bieber. You had the Muppets.
The Muppets.
I saw the Muppets.
It was.
I loved the Nigerian singer that was with Shakira. He was also great. And then you had kids at the end, just kids that were singing.
Yeah. And Megan loved it. In my opinion, I thought it was chaotic and someone needed to take their ADD medicine. And I think they put too much in a short amount of time. Because I think they could have just had Shakira, that Nigerian singer, Madonna. Like, do they really need Justin Bieber?
Yeah. I mean,
there was so much going on, and also it went over. And it also went over.
I think that's the big consensus. Like, when I saw it, I just saw it and I was like crying. And I think this is amazing. And oh my God, oh my God. And then I did a little like research and I'm like, oh, okay, they don't normally do this. So that's interesting. So then I, of course, thought like the money aspect. And then when I read that it went over the time that they're supposed to have, because again, like Susan reiterated, the time is about like
They don't want
atrophy
to
in your
cramp up.
muscles. And you know, exactly. I'm like, well, but when you're disturbing the game, then you got to cut the show, you got to do some things. But I mean, I've never heard that we've ever ran over time for like a Super Bowl or any of those things. They make the show specifically in that period of time that you have. So they shouldn't have run over the
Well,
time.
how much
Like
did
it
they
shouldn't.
run over? Like, how long
It's
did
like
they run?
15 minutes.
Yeah, I think
20, no,
it,
20, no, 20,
I think it was
27
20
minutes.
minutes. It was
20,
pretty long.
it was a long period
But
of
I mean,
time.
I mean, like they ran over
Yeah,
27,
they
or
didn't
Yeah,
run it within the 15-minute break.
yeah,
They
I think it
ran
was like a total
over.
of 20. I think it was a total of 27 minutes. That's a significant period of time. Not for the people listening to this, watching the show. They love it. But for an athlete, you know, like throws you psychologically off your
yeah, I mean,
game. I mean,
they can't say that they didn't know. I mean, I mean,
yeah, no,
going over 12
I
minutes
don't
is
think
like,
anybody said that they didn't know. I feel
oh,
like they had to have known. Like,
yeah,
I mean, the way they shot that like Super
It
Bowl
was supposed to
halftime.
be 11 minutes.
Yes, and it was what?
Um,
But
it
it went
was,
over. It went
yeah, it
over,
went
and I
over.
feel like, I mean, I don't even like, you know, when they do all the breaks and stuff for football and baseball. Like, I mean, I know it's a psychological you know, tactic to like call a timeout and you know, all these kinds of things, but I'm like, you're just breaking up people's rhythm. And
I
so I
also
will
think
say I don't agree with that part. Show's great.
it lasted
Cut it
between
down to
27 and 29 minutes. So
yeah,
it was
like
only supposed to go 11 minutes.
yeah. So it's like cut it down. Like
But
I will say,
if you, and
cut it
also if you
down.
think about it, they play two 45-minute halves, and there's a big difference between football, like American football, and soccer. Like soccer is more a full
Well,
body sport.
it's
You're
good. Exactly.
constantly
You're
running.
constantly, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You're not on the sidelines taking a break and all of those kinds of things. But I mean, I would just say, I don't think you should if that's the break in the time that you get, figure out your show in that time.
Okay, so were most of the complaints the show itself or the length of time?
I think
Big
it's a
thing.
combination of both.
I think it was a combination of both. I think, you know, people who really like the theatrics of it are all very happy about it. And I mean, again, I loved it when I saw it. I read all that stuff after and I thought, okay, I understand those. I'm not going to take away the fact that I loved it. But I mean, I think it could have been limited, but I think a lot of people's point was that. And also just like, why are we doing it? We've never done it before. So why is it happening
Sponsoring.
now?
You said something, Megan, in our text, something about Trump.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
well,
That was the end.
okay, well, I just had to die because the whole halftime show was like all about love and unity, and there's children, and like it was all about kind of cultures,
coming
coming together.
Yeah.
And then at the end, when like, the trophies being given and stuff, he had to be asked multiple times to get off the stage.
And he didn't get off.
And he didn't. And there was a leak. There was an audio leak by like some Australian commentator, and they were like, "It's fine. We'll just edit that out anyway. It doesn't matter."
And
I just found it funny that he would have to be surrounded by all this like love, peace, and unity. I mean, he was very I don't want to say pride oriented, but there was a lot of rainbow colors. There was a lot of that. And I just thought, this is so not his jam at all. It's all about like positivity and united. So I kind of found it funny that he would have to sit through all that and then was getting shooed off the stage.
Also, what's interesting is in my opinion, he was trying to still be front and center for the World Cup when it had nothing to do with him.
Nothing to do with you.
But what's best about it is Spain actually edited him out of the photo when they released the photo of the winning team across all the papers this morning.
Yeah, they said they would. They literally
he was edited out.
So I found that funny.
And for the listeners, who won?
Spain. That was against Spain versus Argentina.
That was going
to 1-0.
Also, for the listeners, there's a very big moment between Messi and is it Mal? So Messi in 20, I want to say around 2008, maybe 2006. He was in an ad for UNICEF.
Does that
With
still exist?
Yeah, but like, so this is like the ironic thing is, and this is like such a weird, like this is not even 1 in 100. This is so unique. So Messi was in a UNICEF back in 2008, maybe 2007, maybe even younger, with a 6-month-old Lamine Yamal who plays for Spain, and they played against each other in the World Cup.
Oh wow.
And so like that even itself was like kind of crazy that this at one time,
That they
almost
would
20
like
years ago.
exactly meet
And
each
and
other in
also
such a
this kid
weird.
is probably one of the youngest kids to play for Spain. He just made the team at 18.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't watch
So
any of the game.
No, I obviously didn't. Carolyn, I was gonna ask Carolyn, do you watch football?
No.
Do you watch any
Football,
football?
I mean, we watch American
Soccer,
football. I
but not
don't.
Yeah,
soccer.
It's on at my
it's
house.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't watch soccer,
Yeah.
soccer football.
Actually, I shouldn't say that. I
Soccer
did go and
football.
get a burrito before I could take my nap that was necessary after our weekend. And I went to get a burrito and they had it on. So I actually did get to see that one goal scored.
Oh,
It was like on in the
Oh,
background, but I was
it's good
not
timing.
really paying. I know I wasn't really paying attention. But there was a lot of chatter and excitement.
the
So
other kind of I mean, I thought it was a little bit strange that I read because of course I didn't see it, but the halftime show was apparently not performed at the stadium where the game was being played.
Oh,
it was because it took 7 minutes to go onto the field and set up the thing.
I thought I read that it was at a completely different stadium and like fans were irritated that they didn't get to see the show live. It was just shown on video there.
no, I think the
Like big
begin.
screens.
Well, I would assume that the Madonna part was
elsewhere.
pre-recorded, but then they wouldn't even care about the timing of it if they. I mean, like then why would they complain
I don't know, that's
about?
what I read. I'll look and see
Yeah, yeah,
if
yeah. No, I'm
No,
just curious
it
because I'm like,
definitely was at the stadium. Like they had to, it took 7 minutes for them to even set up the stage.
yeah, I think that was
But
part
there
of
was
why it
definitely
took so long. The
pre-recorded, like
pre-recorded
the
portions.
man, Madonna's thing was all pre-recorded.
Yeah, that first part was like that's allegedly, under the stadium. Like that's no way. There's no way that could have been literally under the stadium happening at the
Well,
Also,
same time.
for the record, Chris Martin of Coldplay produced this whole shit show.
I was very curious because I was talking with somebody today and I was saying, we always just talk about any of these big productions like the Super Bowl, or we always talk about the performer. But I will say, who the hell like choreographs these things and like produces them? Because they are like the structure is pretty brilliant. The cameras are amazing. The angle, it's just I think honestly, people don't get enough credit for who put these things together.
oh yeah, no, it
Kind
does
of
say it was
ins-
there.
it's kind of insane.
yeah. No, you're right. There's
I
a
mean, it's a
lot of
lot to
behind the
coordinate.
scenes.
You've got famous people, but then there was like with Shakira, there's a bunch of kids, and yes, they all look like they've taken lessons, and but I mean, they're 7, they're 8, they're 11, they're young, and to just coordinate all of this in such a very short period of time, which still was an extended period of time, is pretty incredible. I mean, I don't really understand how they even do it. Where do you rehearse? How do
Yeah.
you rehearse? How do you break this up into like you're obviously not having every person show up for every rehearsal, it's really spectacular to me. And I don't think that they get enough choreographers don't get enough credit for
Yeah,
what they do.
yeah. That's a good point. Carolyn, you look like you want to say something.
No.
Did you watch it? Did you watch
I
it
did.
when I
I
sent it?
watched the
Okay.
video you sent.
What did you think?
I did forward through a lot of it because I was like,
Oh,
this is
A
taken
lot?
I
up,
said it was 11 minutes of your life.
but it wasn't 11 minutes. It seemed like it was longer.
It
I just was
was.
not that interested. I thought the Muppets was cute. I loved that it wasn't like some like dark,
Yeah.
over sexualized fucking
Yeah.
weird. Like it wasn't weird. It was
Was it
cute.
like Super Bowl stuff?
Yeah, like some of that shit gets dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was cute. I just was like, I'm
You
not
fast forward
through
through
every
the emotional
single
part.
one,
Yeah.
through every single like performer. I'm like, okay, that's
Did you
enough of
know the
her. That's
songs?
enough of him. That's
Did
enough
you
of
know the
her.
songs?
Wait.
Like when they were singing them, were you like, what is this music?
I didn't know the Shakira song. I didn't know
You
the
did
Madonna
the
song. I didn't
you
know
didn't
the
know,
Justin Bieber song. So no, I didn't.
and the BTS, you didn't know their song.
No.
Yeah, hold on, I can see why.
I
I was
I
like, sit
only
on my couch, like rocking.
I only
Then I'm
knew
I
like,
just thought it was too
a couple
chaotic,
songs.
too much. They should have gone with 50% of it. Like
Yeah,
there's
and
just too much
Amanda, did
going
you
on. It
watch
was
it?
like ADD.
I thought it was an eclectic mix
No
of
wonder I was like, oh,
performers.
I'm totally loving this. It was a very eclectic choice. I
Like, is Shakira doing stuff currently?
Yeah,
well,
that song she just released.
yeah, and
Oh,
she's fairly relevant. I mean, she's performed at the Super Bowl,
yeah,
and
I
and they
know.
had to, and they had to throw someone of color in there. I mean, they couldn't just have a, I feel like I mean, honestly, I feel like they covered, like they had
The
every kind
Asians.
of race. Well, I just feel like they had a lot of races represented, and that was intentional. I
Sure, of
mean,
course. Yeah.
yeah,
It is the World Cup. Um,
yeah, you had to. I will say
he-
when Shakira was performing, I did think, I'm like, this is probably the only part Donald Trump likes, because all the ladies are just like shaking their asses in tiny little outfits.
I
Well,
think it's funny that
it
you
was my
thought of
favorite part.
him.
Oh, well, I mean, he's there and he's watching and he's got an opinion about everything.
Maybe
So
he should be on the
I was
Karens.
to say maybe we should
so
get him on the Karens.
yeah. So I just, assumed, I was like, oh, I'm sure all this other love and unity and everything he's hating, but like, she's shaking her ass. I'm sure he wasn't super bummed about that part. That's just my
Yeah.
take.
That was my favorite part. I
So
I
lesbians and Trump do have something in common.
Shakira, I mean, she's
Yeah, yeah,
awesome.
no, she's
Yeah.
amazing.
Madonna, I was like, oh, she's definitely lip syncing. That was my first thought.
Oh, she totally
Um,
was.
Yeah,
but it
I'm
was
sure
good to
they
see
all
her.
were.
I was gonna say, I feel like
Yeah.
BTS was as well, because there was like some of them were better at it than others. But one guy came out and I'm like, it was like the really blonde guy, and he came out and like, you're off your sync, dude.
Yeah.
Like I
I
can
think they
tell
all
you're
were.
just backing up your own vocals. I feel like most people do in
I'm
those
sure
kinds of
they have
productions. You
to lip
have
sync
to.
because it's such
I
a
mean,
big
what if something
production.
went wrong with
Wait,
your mic
one at
and
a
you're
time,
just
ladies. Sorry. It's
yeah.
hard to
It was a
hear.
big to-do years ago when Prince did his Super Bowl halftime show, because he was pissed that they were forcing him to lip
Yeah.
sync.
Yeah.
And so what did he do? He like chewed gum like during his performance to like spit in their face basically. And
Love
he
that.
was pissed about it because they made him. He was
Yeah.
forced.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Surprised he didn't just back out.
I think once you sign,
Contracts are signed.
Contracts. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
even though they don't get paid for, I don't know about past Super Bowl, but for this, the performers didn't get paid.
Actually, I just Googled Prince, Carolyn, and he actually didn't lip sync, though the production crew wanted him to, and he said he wasn't going to because he got rained on legitimately. He thought he was going to electrocute himself.
So wait, he didn't
he didn't
lip sync? What
No,
was
he
the whole
didn't.
gum thing? I thought that was the whole, he was like chewing gum as like a fuck you to show people that he was lip syncing.
No, it says here, it is rumored that he was chewing gum in protest. Of the 1995 American Music Awards, we're confusing things.
Oh.
Yeah. No,
I mean,
but
American Music Awards, you should not be lip syncing. The Super Bowl, I'm thinking you have to. If something happened to those mics in the middle of the performance and there's no music happening, like that's a disaster. So
Yeah. Or the
there's no,
acoustics or whatever.
yeah, there's just no way. Like you
yeah.
kind of have to. But
Well, I think that if you're gonna put on that large a production, it has to be
yeah,
lip syncing because there's so many different mics, so many different like things that
yeah.
could go wrong.
It did sound like though that they were singing along with their the backtrack, like their music. I mean, the mics were on and they were singing. You could just tell that they're singing to their song. I feel like that happens a lot.
How could you tell if the mics were on if it was like recorded? I don't get it. I don't get
No, I mean if you watched it, and
I
watch
did.
it carefully. Go back to the BTS, go back to BTS and
it's
watch.
a topic.
And you will see that you can tell they're singing, but they're they're singing on top of their track, which is what a lot of people do when they lip sync. You're not, it's not the track that we hear on the radio and then they're just mouthing it. They're singing going along. You just have your song in the background. So I think that's what was happening. And I mean, and I'm not going to judge anybody for that. I'm assuming they told them you can't go up there and
I don't
sing.
care.
Yeah, you can't sing live at a World Cup.
Was it Milli Vanilli that was the first kind of out of the box?
I mean, they weren't even the singers.
Caught.
Yeah, they weren't even the singers.
Yeah, that's right.
So they were lip syncing.
They're the first ones that got caught. Who knows?
They were
the first ones that they were the first ones that got caught, not only lip syncing, but weren't actually singing, or the creators.
They're real singers. Yeah.
So
singing, not just lip syncing to help their voices, but actually somebody else's voices completely.
Lip syncing to somebody else's track. Yeah, and they won a Grammy for it.
Nice.
Yeah, so just so
and then they got the Grammy removed. And then they were supposed to be one of the headliners at this America's World Fair that's going on in Washington, at the White House.
How could they be when one person's dead?
It was going to be the one guy and somebody else. They were supposed to be one of the highlight performers,
someone else was just going to impersonate the other guy.
Yeah, I was like, it doesn't matter if one guy's dead. They didn't sing it anyway.
As long as he's got the dance moves down.
I was like, I just found it I was like, well, that's an interesting choice. But they backed out.
There's a Milli Vanilli radio station on Spotify that we listen to at the gym, and it fucking it's great.
It's probably great.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
I mean, when Milli Vanilli when one of their songs actually comes on, I forward it, but all the other songs are really great.
I honestly will still listen to Blame It on the Rain every once in a while. I'm like, these guys, they had a dream and, they're sold a crock of shit and whatever. I'll listen to it. I mean yes,
they weren't the masterminds.
Should have been removed, but they weren't. They were just, I mean,
somebody offered him fame and fortune. Fuck yeah.
Absolutely.
Whatever.
Yeah. One of them was tortured so much they fucking died from it. They did so many. Wasn't it the one who was always just in and out of trouble?
Yeah.
Because he was so tortured.
Dying of a drug overdose.
Yeah. So he died of a drug overdose. So I'm like, okay, guilt can.
Because I think the reason why they were personally so tortured is they actually really wanted to be singers.
Yeah.
And they thought they had good voices. And I don't know if they did or not, but I think the premise was they thought they were being lied to. And then I think that wasn't their voices on the tracks. And they thought they had laid down tracks.
Yeah. It wasn't their intention to basically lie to all of the public.
No. I wonder who was the mastermind behind that. Do we know? What music mogul?
Yeah. Who are their producers? What label were they on?
I don't know. I'll have to ask Chad.
Blame it on the rain. Yeah.
It's the only Milli Vanilli song I know, and only because you reminded me.
Anyway, that was a German record producer named Frank Farian. He created the group. He orchestrated the studio singers. I remember him. He was a blonde guy.
I was like, that name does sound so familiar.
Wasn't there a Girl You Know It's True? Isn't that Milli Vanilli?
Yeah.
It's true. Good, Carolyn.
Yeah. They had a couple.
Deep. Well, they did win a Grammy, so.
Yeah. No, there was 4 very popular songs that were blasting on the radio constantly. Yeah.
Huh. That's hilarious. Well, good stuff. Thanks for the debate or information. I don't know what you want to call it. I guess we all have our opinions. As a reminder, you can hear us every Monday with new episodes dropping every Monday for free on your favorite places to listen, Spotify being one of them. And if you have any questions or topics or comments that you'd like us to share on the podcast, you're welcome to email us at info@thekarenspodcast.com. That's info@thekarenspodcast.com. Susan, you want to peek us out?
Yeah, thanks for listening to Karens, where we're experts on nothing but opinions on everything. And also go check out Milli Vanilli on Spotify, Apple Music, or your local radio
station. Milli Vanilli station.
Milli Vanilli station. Yeah.